Hey everyone, it's Rob Loferese with Daily Classics. Today is Saturday, January 20th, 2024. Each day I search hundreds of cars on the internet and then handpick just a few that I can recommend based on condition, affordability, value, and uniqueness. And then post that cars on our Daily Classics for Sale Facebook group, for which we now have over 10,000 members, something I'm very proud of. And I want to thank all our members for supporting the page that we have. And then what I like to do at the end of the day is give a recap on YouTube on maybe one or two cars that we found, just to give a little conversation about why I picked the car, and then do a quick walk around together and then move on to the next day. So today's feature car is the 1974 AMC Matador we found today. That car is based in Toledo, Ohio. It's a dealer car, but the dealer says that it was his father's car at one time. And they state that the mileage is correct at 75,000 miles. The coupe, the Matador Coupe was a unique car for AMC. It was designed by Dick Teague, who worked for AMC at the time. Dick Teague was the stylist for the Gremlin, the Javelin AMX, the Pacer, and the Hornet, just to name a few. Matter of fact, if Ron Howard was to make a movie about a car designer, I think Dick Teague's life probably be very interesting. Mark Donohue got involved in the design of the car too, because he was racing with Penske at the time. And they actually won 5 NASCAR races between 1974 and 75. And if you look at the styling of the car up close, you can see that the front hood is very long. It drops down, and the headlights are in like a tunnel. So you can drop down the hood and get these headlamps up. And if you recognize that look, Porsche 911 does that very well, right? So it was a long hood, a low hood, and then the tail of the car, the deck of the car, the rear deck of the car was very tall and very short too. And that's also reminiscent of what you want on the racetrack. A long hood, short, tall rear deck that gives a little bit more aerodynamic of the car, especially on the high banks of NASCAR at the time. So the car was designed and it sold very well. It was launched in 1974 at the time of the gas crisis, and that impacted the car's engines choices at the time. The car came standard with the 232 cubic inch, 130 horsepower inline 6-cylinder that AMC had for some time. The optional engine was the 304 cubic inch V8 that only produced 150 horsepower. And then the 360 was also available, that went to 230 horsepower. There was a 401 cubic inch V8 originally launched and then pulled from production because of emissions. Something happened with emissions, and also the gas crisis happened. But supposedly there are some early AMC Matadors coupes now, because the coupes are its own car line, that has the 401 V8, and I would think those are pretty unique to find. If we look at the actual website and go to the dealer site and just pull up some of the photos, the car has a nice stance. It looks nice. The bumpers with AMC at the time, they're 5-mile-an-hour bumpers, and they're 2.5-mile-an-hour bumpers in the rear. If you notice, they didn't have like the body fill, like you find on General Motors cars back then and Chryslers. They left it open, so you can look right through. But the bumpers were smaller. It's stylish. Looks like there's some cracking in the front hood. I don't know if that's plastic or rust. So that comes across. But other than that, the car looks like it's a solid car. It doesn't look like a rust bucket. But what the interior has some warping on the dashboard and cracking on the rear seats. And that normally happens when it's very dry and hot climates. So I'm not sure where this car lived its life since it was born in 1974. So that would be a question. There's no engine photo, which is kind of a turnoff. But if I was local, it wouldn't stop me going to look at the car. The trunk area originally looked kind of scary for me, but when I dived in a little bit more tonight, it looks like it might be just surface rust, and there's some rust in the quarter panel that looks like it might be going through on the left-hand side rear quarter panel. But other than that, it doesn't look too bad. The price of the car overall for $7,500 is steep. because there's so much work that has to be done. And he discloses that the brakes are soft. There's a crack in the windshield. The floors and the trunks are all solid, and the frame is in good condition. But still, if the brakes are soft, that means this car has been sitting around for a long time. So you're going to be doing a lot of restoration on this car. So I think he's about $4,000 higher than what this car is probably worth in person, but it's worth taking a look at. We have on our website, if you go on our website, Daily Classics for Sale, and you look down at the bottom here, there's a search tool. And if you hit that search tool and just type in AMC Matador, you'll see cars like this come up. You'll get a preview of all the Matadors that we found on our Facebook group page. And that can help you if you're looking for a car. When it's not as good as Bring a Trailer, of course, but these are cars, everyday type cars that we find on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. So you can see we found the 1974 AMC Matador with the 304 V8 with 40,000 miles for $7,500 back in September of 23. So just as a reference, and this car looks like it was driving. This car looks like it was rolling and drivable and all. The one we found today looks a little bit older. And so that's about it, folks. I just wanted to share that car with you. Daily Classics is basically available. If you'd like to go on our Facebook page, you can go to dailyclassics.org, and that will take you right to our group page. You can click to become a member. You can click on. We have a couple of group rules to agree with, and then you can become a member of the page as well. If you're not a subscriber to the YouTube channel, please subscribe below. And we'd like to get more members on our YouTube channel so I can do live Q&A. And that's it, folks. Thanks very much for joining me tonight. And stay warm if you're in the cold climate like I am. And if you're in the sunshine, like I always say, just send me those real estate ads because I'm moving. Thanks very much and have a good night. Bye.